Hello everyone and welcome back to the GH24 News channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Lulu stops by Laura's office, and her mama is relieved to see her. Lulu says that's how she felt when she held Charlotte in her arms, but also she lost her, and all because of Dante. She explains Charlotte trusted her to come to Prague alone, and when Dante showed up, Valentine allowed. It was an ambush, and everything went upwardly from there. Laura says she's sorry effects went inadequately, but she thinks Dante did the right thing. Laura tells Lulu that she's been where she is. She tells Lulu that she woke up to a new life and a lot has changed that she doesn't know about. She says Valentine has come dangerous and changeable. Laura promises Lulu there will be another occasion in the future to get Charlotte back, but she needs to ask for help, as so numerous people love her and want to help her. Lulu says she knows she owes Sam her life, and Dante told her she was being selfish and throwing Sam's immolation down with her conduct. Still, she thinks Sam would do the same thing she did. Laura says she's presumably not wrong, as maters will do anything for their children. Lulu harangues that Charlotte isn't living a stable life and she's staying with Valentine out of guilt because he has no bone differently. She knows Valentine took poor care of her indeed when they were in Port Charles and asks when her mama was going to tell her that Anna shot her son. Laura explains she didn't want to overwhelm her, it was a horrible accident, and Anna feels terrible about it. Laura tells her what happened, how Victor manipulated Charlotte, who was draining Anna. Lulu sees the whole thing as an assignment that bad effects can be indeed when you have good intentions. Laura asks if commodity differently happened in Prague. Lulu reveals Dante believes she led the shooter to Valentine, and he may be right. Laura says that means she needs to be more careful coming time for both Charlotte and Rocco's sakes. Lulu says Dante has guilt her about Rocco enough. Laura assumes Dante could have approached it more, but Dante knows how willful she is, and she has to be careful in the future. Laura promises to help her find Charlotte again. At the Quartermain manse, Cody assures Tracy that the estate is secure. She's happy. She notes Michael isn't her favorite person, but he's family, they will cover his children from Willow and her attorneys. Tracy and Cody advise GH. Cody changes the content to the $50,000 he got from Drew, and he's read about this forthcoming cryptocurrency company. She warns him it's a Ponzi scheme, and if he invests in that company, that all his plutocrat will be gone. She tells him to invest wisely and stay for his plutocrat to multiply. Cody explains there's an offer on Serenity, so he needs to make a counter right now. Tracy thinks the agent is pretending him. She urges him not to act hasty, but if it doesn't be, he'll move on and find another occasion. He tells her that's easy for her to say and walks out. At the Sunup Wellness Center, Trina leaves a communication checking in with Joss about how she's holding up. Stella arrives and tells Trina she'll love Ashanti. Trina asks who that is. Kai appears and says she's the stylish yoga school teacher then. Trina is surprised to find out Stella and Kai know one another. Kai and Stella are occasionally in the same yoga class, and he realizes Trina is the bastard she's always talking about. Trina explains to Stella that they're in the same art class. Trina heads into the class with her aunt, as Kai just finished the earlier one. Stella and Trina finish their class, and Stella takes off. Trina takes time to speak with Kai subsequently. She enjoyed the class and admits it was a challenge. Cody shows up, spots Kai, and gushes about his rearmost performance on the field. Kai thanks him for the respects. Cody says they've their work cut out in the forthcoming Coliseum, and Kai agrees it'll be a tough one, but he thinks they've the edge. Cody takes off, and Trina asks Kai if he's nervous about the game. Kai says all he can do is be prepared, keep out of his head and calculate on his platoon members. Still, once the game is over and they win, he has to decide when or if he'll come back to Academy. Trina is surprised, and he explains he can either finish council and play for PCU or he could enter the draft in his inferior time. Still, he admits he's enjoying his courses, so she asks why he doesn't just stay and enter the draft after Academy. He can't help but suppose of a star player who injured himself in his elderly time, and that was it for him. There's no guarantee of a future with the NFL. He asks what she thinks, assuming she feels he should stay in academy. She tells him he has a good grasp of the situation and that he should do what's stylish for him. Back at the manse, Stella drops by to visit with Tracy. Stella knows about Michael's accident and asks how the family is doing. Tracy explains that after Monica's fall last time, and between Willow's treason and now Michael's injury, Monica refuses to leave her room. Children's riots are heard from upstairs. Tracy reflections that the house has been overhauled by children and, indeed worse, teenagers. She snappily apologizes for complaining about the children to Stella. Tracy and Stella visit GH. Stella admits that going to the nursery and the fourth bottom at the sanitarium after Irene's death has been grueling, especially given TJ and Molly separated. Still, she did go to the nursery the other day and saw a baby that looked like she imagined Irene would have. Stella had to show her father how to hold her, and that child sounded to look into her soul at that moment. After she finished with her pater, she went to the stairwell and cried. Still, it was a mending moment. Tracy admires her strength, but indeed the strongest person can break it, and she's seeing it be right in this house. Tracy admits she's upset about Monica, and if they lose Michael, she may not survive. Tracy fills Stella in about the fights they've had over the times about this house and Alan in doing it to Monica, and how numerous times Monica's thrown her out. Still, that spark in her is darkening, and she misses her favorite sparring mate. She doesn't know what the family will do if Monica can't keep them together. Stella says they'll have Tracy to do that. Tracy laughs that the family presumably sees her as the nuisance in their sides. The kiddies can be heard screaming again. Tracy rolls her eyes, but says she'll keep the coming generation safe at all costs. Stella notes she sounds like a dame. At the sanitarium, Willow insists that the Croakers speak to her about Michael's medical care, not Sunny and Carly, as she's his woman. Carly and Sunny lash out at her for trying to keep them from Michael. Nina interjects that isn't what Willow is doing, but Drew argues that Willow has the right to make opinions for Michael as she has the legal authority. Cuts are hurled, and Portia says this is a family matter, but unfortunately, Willow has Michael's medical deputy. Sunny asks Willow what she wants. Drew tells Sunny and Carly to give Willow her kitties back, and they'll have access to Michael. Sunny calls this blackmail. Portia interjects and says they need to have a family discussion, but in doing so, to do what's stylish for Michael. Isaiah and Portia leave, and the yelling continues. Nina suggests to Sunny they go and talk away, so they do. Carly tells Willow if the situation was reversed, Michael would no way do this to her. Carly asks if she ever loved her son. The nurses find Michael is crashing in his room, and they run Isaiah and Lucas. Lucas and Brad run into one another in the hall. Brad has heard about Michael and tells Lucas how sorry he is. Brad asks how Michael is. Lucas tells Brad that he's in the burn unit, but a lot further is going on. Michael and Willow have separated, and Willow is at fault. Brad is stunned as they're the perfect couple. Lucas admits he's upset about Wiley in all of this. Ultimately, Isaiah and Lucas arrive at Michael's room, having gotten their runners, and find Michael going into falsehood. Nothing seems to work to help him, and Isaiah suspects digitalis. He suggests a drug that will fight it. Lucas asks what if he's wrong. Isaiah says Michael will die either way. They begin changing the 4 bags, and Isaiah and Lucas instruct the nurses to save them so the lab can dissect them. Away, Nina addresses to Sunny on Wiley and Amelia's behalf, not about Willow and Drew. She says those kiddies don't know what's passing to their father, and someone will have to be there for them. They will need the only other parent they know, and that's their mama. She tells him not to waste time on this fight over medical delegates. She urges Sunny to give the kiddies to Willow so he and Carly can concentrate on Michael and so Michael can heal and be there for his children in the future. In another hallway, Willow tells Carly that she wouldn't have married Michael if she didn't love him. Drew informs Willow she doesn't have to tell Carly anything. Carly says she wants to talk to Willow alone, but Drew doesn't budge. Carly tells Willow she knows her, she knows she'll fight for her family, so don't go down this road with her. Willow tells Drew that perhaps she should suppose about this further, but Drew says Carly is trying to manipulate her and don't let her. Carly can't believe she didn't see it before and tells Willow that Drew is the one pushing her to the point of no return. Carly says he's doing this so she has no bone differently to calculate on but him. Sonny returns and announces that the children will go home with Willow so he and Carly can concentrate on their son. He also wants the kiddies to know what's going on with their father, and they must be kept abreast of Michael's care. Spooked, Carly says she has to put her trust in Willow now. She says Michael would always do right by her, so she needs to do right by him. Carly and Sonny walk out, but not before Nina thanks Sonny. Before Nina can indeed speak to Willow, her son gushes to Drew that she owes everything to him. He tells her they should go get her kitties, walking down and leaving Nina stunned. Portia runs into Brad and is glad she caught him. He assumes she's going to complain about commodity he did. She says his capability to bend the rules will come veritably useful. She needs him to probe once patient death records and note how numerous had digitalis in their system and how numerous were specified the medicine. She tells him there have been 2 deaths due to digitalis overdose, and she needs to know if there are more. He says he'll help, and she asks him to report to her, as she doesn't want legal to find out about this. Cody shows up latterly and startles Brad. Brad asks what he wants. Cody needs Brad to communicate his Aunt Selena, as he has a truckload of cash and needs to place a bet, which he calls a sure thing. He wants to go on the forthcoming PCU game and offers to cut Brad in when the lab tech asks what he gets out of this. They make a deal. Back in Michael's room, Lucas and Isaiah manage to stabilize him, and both questionable someone snuck in and gave Michael digitalis. They're sure it'll turn up in the 4 bags when the lab screens them. Outside of Michael's room, Carly tells Sonny she can't believe he agreed to this deal with Willow and gave her back the kitties. Sonny says it's only temporary. Lucas exits and gives them an update on Michael. He explains they nearly lost him, but he's stable now. Isaiah finds Portia and fills her in on Michael going into V falsehood. He suspected it was due to digitalis, administered a counterdrug, and it worked. Portia states they need to check the security footage from the hallway right down. Isaiah says they're formally on it, but it's time to face the fact that there's someone in this sanitarium killing cases.